Alright, once more we're gonna hope the mic doesn't screw us over and start bubbling and doing everything else. But so far it's been doing us pretty good the past couple videos, so we got that to, you know, believe in a little bit. But okay. Um Oh sorry, this probably sounds awful because my mic didn't pick it up well when I laugh. But okay. So this is completely a rant. Okay. Completely a rant, and if you're not here for that, I don't care. I just really felt the need to do this, and I don't know why. So, this is going to be a bit of a story time, so just sit back, relax, and enjoy whatever I put up on the screen. Me and my dad are pretty close. I still live with him. I'm in college. I don't dorm or anything. I live at the house still because my college is relatively close. Me and my dad make it a point to still spend at least one day a week watching our shows together, TV, whatever. Usually we just end up watching some anime, catching up for the week, this and that, right?
What are you watching?
Planet Chaser, Starlight Excellent.
Is it good?
I watch Planet Chaser, Starlight Excellent all day, every day. All day, every day.
So one of the things that we do, one of our inside jokes, one of our, gas, as you might call it, is that, we'll start teasing it. Oh, who's going to make dinner? Who's going to make dessert? Oh, are you paying or are you paying? You going to drive us somewhere? You going to, we do our little bit of back and forth. We do that a lot of nights. Ooh, my voice cracked. We do that a lot of nights, right? Recently, we've been on this coffee kick of sorts, right? My dad has never had a frozen coffee up until this year. Okay? And I'm not much of a coffee guy myself, but if I'm offered it, sure, why not? I mean, I enjoy occasional coffee of any kind of sort. So my dad really likes frozen coffees right now. And we keep going to Dunkin' and getting like a large caramel frozen coffee with an extra squirt of caramel because we like it a little sweet. Caramel, however you want to say, I don't care. Okay, so this was literally last night. We're sitting on the couch like we normally do, watching our anime, and then the episode ended. My dad looks over at me, looks deep into my eyes, down to the bottom of my soul, and he says a few select words. He looks at me and goes, "Boy, I'm gonna need you to wait about 30 minutes. And I'm gonna need you to get in your car and drive to the town over. And I'm gonna need you to go to Dunkin' and get me a large frozen coffee. And I'm gonna need you to get me a burger from whatever place you want." He's like, "I'm getting tired. Getting real tired. And I'm gonna take a nap. So I want you to give me a little bit of time to nap, and I need you to go into town." I'm like, "You serious? You want me to do that?" He's like, "Yes. And I want you to wake me up and hand me a burger and a large frozen coffee." And I'm just like, I mean, sweet. That's free food and a free drink. I mean, what could go wrong with that? What could go wrong with that? So I do exactly that. I looked out a little bit. I ended up talking with my brother for about 30 minutes or so. So immediately after our conversation, I headed into town. You know, Pretty typical. I go straight into town. I mean, I live in a town, but it's just the town over is where everything's at. So, it's like a 10, 15-minute drive, whatever. Go through the drive-through, and right before I was heading through the drive-through, I was thinking, I was like, tis be the season. And I was like, I've had pumpkin spice before. I've had it before. I've had it in a couple hot coffees, but very lightly. Really, all it does is make the coffee sort of smell like it. You barely even taste it. And there might be a slight hint in the background of the flavor where you will taste that little bit of spice, And I'm just like, okay, I'll get a pumpkin spice frozen coffee. And so I do that. I do that. I got him one and I got me one. And of course, because we get an extra shot of, or extra squirt, extra pump of caramel in our whatever, I was like, oh, let me get an extra squirt of pumpkin spice in my pumpkin spice frozen whatever. Oh, the horror. The horror of that drink. There's no way to explain it, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. Okay, so have any of you experienced liquid NyQuil? NyQuil is like like a like a more heavy duty quote unquote like fever and cold medicine. And there's specifically like a liquid version of it that has a really strong medicinal taste. It tastes really chemically, really chemical like, and it's just bad. It's really bad. It's one of the few things that I've ever had that makes me like recoil from the taste. And it's something that is an absolute last resort for me. This pumpkin spice frozen thing was real close. I took a sip of it. I got it. Smelled good. Looked good. I took a sip of it. And it just immediately made me cringe a little bit. Made me, made me like jump. I'm just like, ooh, ooh. And so I was like, okay, maybe it's the initial kick, I sip it again. Same thing happens. I sip it again. I'm in denial. I keep doing it. And I want the frozen coffee so bad. But it tastes so bad. I mix the whipped cream in. I'm like, oh, maybe that'll fix it. It doesn't. It doesn't. There's such an overpowering pumpkin spice flavor that just kicks me in the back of the throat every time, and it feels like someone's pulling at my nuts. Like, it's so bad. It's so unbelievably bad. And I'm just like, who made this? Like, I'm on my way home, and I'm just in denial because I can't explain how bad I thought that drink was. But I was so desperate for the coffee. So I kept trying to drink it, but I'm like, who likes this? What chaotic white woman goes out of their way to get a pumpkin spice anything? It was so bad. I came to the conclusion like, this is the only thing that it has to be true. That is the devil's work. Satan got his vilest, his most notorious, his cruelest of demons to scientifically make the worst flavor known to man. That tasted like earwax with a mixture of Indian booty hole. It was so bad. And I was going home, and towards like when I was almost there, I was like starting to like cope. I was like, oh, maybe I'll hint at it with my dad. Maybe he'll take it from me. Maybe my dad likes pumpkin spice. I get home and I'm like, and I start immediately joking. He was already awake. I start immediately joking. I'm like, man, why didn't you impart some of that elderly wisdom to me? Some of that elderly knowledge that pumpkin spice is awful. And he's like, what? I was like, yeah, I got a pumpkin spice frozen coffee because I thought it would be good. Why didn't you tell me it was so bad? And he was just like, some things I don't gotta tell you for you to know are bad. Like, I didn't tell you not to put your pee in gasoline, and you don't go around dipping your pee in gasoline. I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, yeah, it's the same thing. I'm like, oh, okay. And yes, this is what he actually said. I'm not exaggerating. And he's like, and he wouldn't take it. He took a sip out of it, and he also just recoiled. It was so bad. It was like that scene from Family Guy where Peter eats, I think it's like a Triscuit, and just like dies.
Hey, what do you got there, Peter?
Rice cakes? Never had one, but somebody told me this is a really good way to start your diet.
He has like a heart attack immediately. It was exactly that. And so, using my dad's knowledge and years of experience, we come up with this bright idea. Have you guys ever had, I don't know what your middle school and high school experience was, but did you ever have like the kids at the table, or maybe it was even you, when you just start mixing random crap to try to make the school food taste better? Or like sometimes you were trying to make like a potion or something, or like a vial thing, and trying to get someone to drink it for $5. Like, I at least knew somebody that would do that kind of crap, right? And so it wasn't necessarily that, but it was similar. We're like, oh, maybe if we put some of our own caramel syrup in there, maybe it'll fix it. Didn't help. Maybe a little bit of milk. Didn't really help. And then eventually we're like, okay, let's put some of this Nesquik powder we have, chocolate milk powder. We're like, oh, let's put some of that in. 1 scoop, 2 scoop, 3 scoop. And every time I would stir it, drink it, take a little sip, and each time it would borderline make me gag. And I got to the point where I was nearing 10 scoops. And just to put that in perspective, in like a large glass of chocolate milk, I would put like maybe 2.5 to 3.5 scoops for a large glass of chocolate milk. I was nearing 10 scoops. It eventually got to the point where it was drinkable because the chocolate flavoring was so overpowering the pumpkin spice that it was almost okay. But like, even then, I just couldn't wrap my head around it. I couldn't wrap my head around whose taste buds jumped off a cliff and died for them to like this. I couldn't wrap my head around it. And yeah, that's about it. I mean, I don't really have anything else to say. I just needed to get that out of there because, man, does pumpkin spice suck. It sucks so bad. So bad. I just had to say it. I don't care if you like it or if it's not that bad. I like the smell. It's nice for candles, but I don't think what is candles should get put into a drink. I'm sorry. And vanilla doesn't count. Vanilla was probably a flavoring before a candle. I don't care. But like, pumpkin spice should not be ingested. Oh my god. That was so bad. Okay, that's it. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.